Talk about a crusher. Yes! Oh!
Are you kidding me?
And gone!
Welcome back to the Schoolyard Sports Podcast. I'm the host of this podcast, Lane Frank. We're now on episode 264. So 264 episodes through, and I got an action-packed episode planned for you. We're going to run through all the news that happened in NBA free agency, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on them. We're going to run through all the chaos that's been going on in MLB this week. We're going to talk some Wimbledon, and we're going to talk some World Cup. So get tuned for an action-packed episode 264. Let's start out episode 264, how we always do with our headlines. And the first person I want to talk about in the NBA is probably the biggest nutcase in the NBA, Jaylen Brown. Now, yes, many teams are calling for him, and I think that kind of just shows that a deal will get done very soon. But Celtics might just want to be saying, okay, we're going to trade him. Let's just get the best offer out of it, because there are many deals on the table. And yes, Jaylen Brown will be landing on a new team. Now, the next big news in the NBA is, of course, LeBron James announcing that he'll be leaving the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, we're going to talk about LeBron later on this episode, but that's just the news of the year. LeBron James leaving the Los Angeles Lakers. Kawhi Leonard got traded back to the Toronto Raptors. I'll give you my thoughts, and I'll do a little more stuff on that later on in the episode. But for Kawhi, going back to the team that he won a championship with in 2019, the Toronto Raptors. Walker Kessler, the star center, going to the Los Angeles Lakers, and he's going to get a big deal there. And the Lakers give up a huge price for him. But I must say, has Walker Kessler ever been an all-star? Do the Lakers know what they're doing? He's a big body, but I don't know if he can be your starting center when you're the Los Angeles Lakers, when you have that great line of centers, when you have a great point guard in Luka Doncic and a great shooting guard in Austin Reeves. Do you want to get a big man to pair with these guys? Is Walker Kessler going to be that guy? In my opinion, as of now, no. Jalen Duren will most likely be leaving the Detroit Pistons. Maybe some cap space filled up today when Tobias Harris left for the San Antonio Spurs, but all signs are pointing to Jalen Duren leaving the Detroit Pistons in a sign trade, as he is a restricted free agent. Mitchell Robinson has left the New York Knicks, and I think some people expect this due to the salary cap constraints in the NBA, but I don't think a lot of people expect him to go to the Boston Celtics. Yes, Mitchell Robinson, the Knicks center, the longest tenured Knick for a very long time, will now be leaving. I think the longest tenured Knick going forward is now Jalen Brunson. So very sad to see a guy like Mitchell Robinson, who was there for the dog days of the New York Knicks, to be leaving, but he got a championship out of it. Congrats to Mitch getting his money and getting his championship ring. Just tough to see him go over to Boston. Now, 2 point guards are on the move, starting out with LaMelo Ball, the number 3 overall pick in the 2020 NBA draft, going over to the Minnesota Timberwolves, where I think they're kind of saying, if this doesn't work, LaMelo Ball and Anthony Edwards, we can keep LaMelo, and whatever we gave up for LaMelo, we can get back and twice more for Anthony Edwards, if this thing doesn't work. If it does work, great. If it doesn't, that's their backup plan. I'm excited to see those two guards playing together next season. John Morant got traded for a bag of chips and a printer. Now, it was a terrible trade, in my opinion, for the Memphis Grizzlies. It clears up cap space to where maybe they can sign a guy, but who's going to want to go sign in Memphis, even if it's for a mega deal? Yes, the Blazers, he had a great point guard in John Morant. He can, kind of fill that role that they thought Scoot Henderson would fill. But Scoot Henderson hasn't been that superstar in his career. Shaedon Sharpe can play shooting guard, and Scoot Henderson certainly turned up late in the season last year and in the playoffs. So maybe he can come up with some things. But as of now, John Morant, Deni Avdija are the two centerpieces in Portland. And that's about for the news in the NBA. Now in the MLB, it is Bobby Bonilla Day. Yes, if you don't know what Bobby Bonilla Day is where the Mets decided a long time ago to defer Bobby Bonilla's contract, and every year on his birthday, they do pay him $1 million. July 1st, I think it's over $1 million actually, and it's going to go until 2035. So happy Bobby Bonilla Day to those who celebrate. Sticking with the Mets, Francisco Lindor is back from injury, and he came back with a bang, hitting a home run in a loss against the Toronto Blue Jays. There's a lot of news about the New York Mets, and I'm not happy about it. We're going to talk some more baseball later, but that's all we're going to talk about for the Mets because it is a dumpster fire in Queens right now. Nasim Nunez, a Rule of 5 draft pick for the Washington Nationals, currently has the most stolen bases in the MLB and actually only has 1 home run on the season. So great for Nasim Nunez, who, doesn't have a good average, but he does get on base. And when he gets on base, he's going to get the second because of those 32 stolen bases that he does have. Last news in the MLB, Jacob Misiorowski still pitching great, and got his 105.5 mile an hour fastball the other night, the fastest pitch ever thrown by a starter. How fast do you think Mizorowski can throw? Leave your answer in the comments. Last thing in the headlines I got for you, the World Cup. We got some news. Germany suffers one of the biggest upset losses of all time to Paraguay in penalties. And, it's really tough losing in penalties. It is the most stressful environment of sports, I believe, a penalty shootout, and they couldn't come through. Netherlands, they couldn't come through either against Morocco. Congrats to Morocco. I think they were both very tense in that shootout, but Morocco did end up winning that one. The USA is still going as of now, time's recording, playing Bosnia and Herzegovina tonight in San Francisco, so we're all very excited to watch that one. Mexico keeps on going. Gabriel Mora, their wonder kid, young superstar, proving great for them, and he might be on the move to the Premier League soon if you follow soccer outside of the World Cup. But yes, Morocco won. They're moving on. Brazil, they are moving on. England, also moving on after a big win today against DR Congo. It wasn't looking good for a long time, and they came through in the end. Harry Kane, especially. What a great game that was. What a great player Harry Kane is. And that's about for the headlines this week. Now, take of the week. This week's take of the week is soccer superstars are underpaid. Now, yes, they're still making millions, but it's not the kind that you think. And it is a little bit surprising when you look deeper into it because soccer is much more watched across the planet than NBA, NFL, MLB. I mean, heck, the last World Cup final, I think, had 1 billion people tuned in. Well, Super Bowl doesn't come anywhere close to that. But the best players in the NBA, NFL, MLB, they certainly get more money than these soccer superstars. Let's look at Hakimi, the best defender in the world. How much do you think the best defender in NBA, NFL, MLB makes? A ton of money. Well, Hakimi, he only makes $14 million a year. That's medium talent money in the NBA, NFL, and MLB. I just think that's a little bit different, a little bit unfair. And I'm going to explain why that is the case to you. Another example, Kylian Mbappe, the best player in the world, in my opinion, makes $31 million a year. A significant increase from Hakimi, but nowhere near Jaylen Brown's $300 million contract, nowhere near Otani's $700 million, Soto's over $700 million contract. It's just different. The top guys in these leagues are making way less money than the top guys in NBA, NFL, MLB. Now, there are two outliers in this whole entire scenario, Ronaldo and Messi. And they are playing in outlier leagues, and they are going off of their legacy. Ronaldo is making a boatload of money, more than any athlete in the world, I think, per year over in Saudi Arabia. But you don't want to play your whole entire career over there in Saudi Arabia. Lionel Messi took his talents to Miami, but you're not going to make a name for yourself playing for Inter Miami. You make your name for yourself playing for Barcelona and making that $31 million contract. And there's a few reasons to this as well. Soccer has no salary cap. So you think, oh, they can just spend as much money as they want any player. MLB does that. Yes, but you're also not having a split because in the NBA, NFL, MLB, all these media contracts, all the money the teams make, there's a certain agreement between how much the players are going to actually make. In the MLB, you can have a salary minimum, but there's no salary minimum. You can have a very low payrolls team, but there's going to be a team out there that's going to pay that guy a lot of money. Also, in these leagues, you're trading for the players with talent, picks. In these soccer leagues, you're not really doing player exchanges. You are exchanging them for cash money. Kylian Mbappe transferred for, I think, $180 million a long time ago from AS Monaco to PSG. He doesn't seem a dime of that. Now, let's look at Hakimi. I think he was transferred from Milan for over $60 million. He didn't see anything of that. He gets his $14 million. So these soccer clubs do spend hundreds of millions of dollars on these transfer fees, but these players don't see it. Just a different perspective to think where you say, oh, all these soccer superstars, they make the most of any athlete in the world because we only know Ronaldo and Messi. That is not true. The best players in the world do not come close to the Shai Gilgeous-Alexanders, the Jaylen Browns, the Patrick Mahomes, the Shohei Ohtani, the Juan Sotos of the world. Bottom line is, the best soccer players in the world are getting paid like solid role players in American sports. And that's about for my take of the week. Now, top 5. This week's top 5 is, I told you I was going to talk some Wimbledon, so here we are, the top 5 contenders for Wimbledon this year. Now, as you know, tennis I've always said is my favorite sport to play, not my favorite sport to watch. I think golf might be creeping up on tennis is my favorite sport to play. But as of now, it's tennis, so let me give you my top 5 Wimbledon contenders. Starting out with number 5, the guy who just won the recent Grand Slam, the French Open, Alexander Zverev. He's not so great on grass, kind of struggled a little bit in his first round match, got bounced first round last year at Wimbledon. It doesn't have a solid result this tournament to back it up, but he has won a Grand Slam in his career now, which is why he'll be number 5 on my list. Number 4, I'm going to go with this guy, the fastest player on tour and the toughest player to beat physically, Alex de Minaur. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but de Minaur did clinch a spot in the quarterfinals and got hurt and wasn't able to play in it. So for Alex de Minaur, I think this year can be a really good chance for him. He's a top 5 player in the world. Alex de Minaur, number 4. Number 3, some people are going to find this controversial, the reigning champion of Wimbledon, Jannik Sinner, and the world number 1. This guy is just struggling now. He went 5 sets in his first match at Wimbledon. He went 3 sets in his second match, but the first 2 sets went to tie-breaking against Nuno Borges, and the third set was 6-4. A very close match, in my opinion, even though it ended up in straights. He obviously is having some physical issues relating back to what happened in the French Open, which was just a complete shock to everybody. So for Jannik Sinner, number 3 on my list. Number 2, this might be a little bit crazy, but I'm going to go with Joao Fonseca. Now, he could be bounced at the time of this recording. I don't even know, because this guy could be either the best player in the tournament or a medium talent first-round exit. Joao Fonseca is still a young player, still fluctuating on which level his game is going to be at. Had an incredible French Open run, beating Novak Djokovic and beating some other guys before eventually losing to Jakub Mensik in the quarterfinal. I'm excited to see how he plays on grass. Number 2 on my list, Joao Fonseca. And number 1 on my list, the guy who has won this tournament more than anybody that's active, more than anybody in my lifetime, who's still gunning for that 25th Grand Slam. It's Novak Djokovic at number 1, and that's spot for top 5 this week. Now, did you know, this week's Did You Know is, did you know that the modern 18-hole round in golf exists because the club St. Andrews back in 1764 had 22 holes and then decided to combine some greens and some holes and make it 18 holes. Did you know that? Leave down in the comments. That's why we got 18 holes of golf and not 22. Some days you wish you were playing 22, some days you wish like you were playing 5 because of how you're playing with golf. That's the way the game goes. Did you know that? Leave it down in the comments. That's about for Did You Know this week. Now, I want to talk about LeBron James, and he will be spotlight of the week because he is the greatest basketball player of all time, if not the greatest athlete of all time. So this is obviously a major deal. Him leaving the Los Angeles Lakers, the team he has actually played for the longest span, I think, tenure over his career. Now, that's 2 stints at Cleveland, I think might combined beat out, but to be in one place at one time, LA was his longest. And he still might stay in LA. He might go to the Clippers. We're going to bring up some options, but his Lakers legacy is finished. I will say LeBron James is the greatest player to ever put on a Lakers jersey. He is not the greatest player to ever perform in a Lakers jersey. I hope that is not a debate. I hope that is just a fact that people can agree on. Yes. I will say the one thing disappointing about LeBron James' time in the Lakers, it's not the injury in 2021 when they were a 1 seed and they barely made the playoffs. It's not the 2022 season or the next season with Russell Westbrook where he thought things would go great. It's not any of those things. I would say it's that LeBron James and Luka Doncic, the 2 most skilled players maybe of all time, couldn't come together and perform well. They just couldn't. Now, they didn't play together much, at least healthy, but LeBron and Luka never really gelled too well, in my opinion, when we thought it would always work out so well. So for all the people who say, oh, Steph and LeBron, that's going to be a great duo, I say look no further than one of the most skilled players of all time, Luka Doncic and LeBron James. It just didn't work out. Now, Luka Doncic could very well win a championship in his time as a Los Angeles Laker, and people wouldn't know in 50 years, or in 20 years even, that LeBron and Luka played together. It just wouldn't be a known thing. It could be like, oh, Luka was so good as a Laker. Wait, LeBron and Luka played together on the Lakers? They were actually on the team at the same time. LeBron wasn't gone by then? I don't know if people will know that LeBron and Luka played together because they didn't make that big of an impact. You and I will know that if we're big basketball fans, but the casual, I don't know. Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, pretty sure they played together. Not a lot of people might know that. Just a fact. I don't know where LeBron's going to go. I don't think he'll go to Boston. I think that's definitely one team we can rule out. He's obviously not going to Memphis. He has said that many times. He's not going to Orlando. So now we got around 26 teams, excluding the Lakers, that he is going to go to. I don't think Cleveland's an option. They have James Harden. They have Donovan Mitchell. I just don't think he wants to go to Cleveland. I don't think you want to spend 1 year in Cleveland. Yes, it's your hometown. Yes, you want a championship. You've done as much there as you can. I don't think you want to go to Cleveland. You can't play golf in Cleveland. And Rich Paul certainly said, we will go anywhere that we can play golf. Because that's what LeBron James likes to do. I do too. Golden State is certainly an option for that. But I think the best team for LeBron James, and what I hope he does, is the Miami Heat. It just works out too well. It doesn't change LeBron's legacy. You don't think of LeBron as this team hopper. And I will say that Michael Jordan, his legacy is a bit strange, or when you think of his last years of his career, because he went to the Wizards. It would have been very cool if Michael Jordan came out of retirement and played for the Bulls, but that didn't happen. He went to the Wizards, and it's a weird scenario where we're like, let's forget that part of Michael Jordan's career. I don't think LeBron wants anybody to forget about any part of his career, and they certainly will if he goes to another team and doesn't succeed. So going back to Miami and winning a championship there, that would certainly be a great option. Without Norman Powell, they have cap space for him. Even if it's a minimum contract, they can get other guys to come there too. You have that full team. You can have LeBron be that point guard. Giannis Antetokounmpo at small forward. Bam Adebayo at center. That's what LeBron has wanted in his career with the Lakers. He's had that power forward or small forward in Anthony Davis, but he never really had that center. Bam Adebayo can be that center for you in Miami. Now, another team that could be an option if LeBron just wants to stay local, the LA Clippers. That's a good situation, too. You have Darius Garland as your point guard. You have LeBron James, your small forward. Brook Lopez, your center, maybe. And they're going to get some guys. Kawhi Leonard isn't there anymore. But maybe if LeBron James comes there, they can get some more talent. We're going to see what happens with LeBron James. Those are my thoughts on him leaving the Los Angeles Lakers, what it means for his legacy, what the future holds, and look back on what LeBron James has done in his time in LA. Stay tuned. More to come. Episode 264. It's time we go around the bases in the MLB, and I'm going to give you my hot takes through June as we enter July in the MLB. The first one I got for you, college baseball will soon be the new minor leagues if it isn't already. Now, in the new CBA, the MLB is proposing getting rid of high school players going to the MLB, and they have to go to college, and you can leave college whenever, but you have to go to college baseball. That'd be great for college baseball, but I hope that rule doesn't go through. Still, I think these guys who play in college baseball have a huge advantage than any other player coming into the MLB, and that's why you don't see these guys go to the minor leagues as much anymore. Look at Nolan Schanuel for the Los Angeles Angels. He went from the draft to the MLB in a month. Look at Wyatt Langford, Texas Rangers. He went from draft, spring training, MLB, no minor leagues for him. The process is getting sped up for a lot of guys out here now, and I will say college baseball is more entertaining to watch than the minor leagues, and yes, they will soon become that farm system for the MLB. Next one. The Rangers will win the American League. It was my preseason hot take, and then it kind of fell apart a little bit, but they're playing well now. Corey Seager is headed to the IL, but I'm not worried about this team. I think the AL is weak right now, especially with the slump the Yankees are on, and the Rangers will win the American League. Next one, and sticking in that AL West, Joe Adell will be traded from the Los Angeles Angels, not Mike Trout. Now, Joe Adell is having a great season, and so is Mike Trout, and I know everybody wants Trout to go. I think they're going to hold Trout for the rest of his career. I do. I don't think Trout really minds. He's kind of a calm guy. He's like, all right, you guys have 5 years to figure this thing out because of how many years he has on his contract, however many years he wants to play. Now, if they want to move forward, I think they got to trade some pieces. That would be Joe Adell, who's having a great season for Los Angeles Angels. He gets moved, not Mike Trout. Next one. The Pittsburgh Pirates make the playoffs. It's a bit surprising because of their record, but I think they do. They're a couple games out. Brandon Lau is probably their best home run hitter right now. He has their most home runs. Paul Skeens is barely scratching the surface of what he's done this season. Graham Ashcraft is putting together a good season for them on the mound as well. I'm excited to see the way the Pirates go the rest of the year, and I do think they'll make the playoffs. And the last hot take I got for you, it's a bit surprising, but the Brewers will win it all. I know I said the Dodgers before the season, and I might flip-flop back to that by the end of the season, but for what I'm seeing right now with the Brewers, they are the best regular season team in the MLB the past 2 years, but this team looks like the full package. You got Mizorowski, you got Jackson Chourio, you got Christian Yelich, you got a full package here, and Pat Murphy is a great manager to put it all together. I wish my Mets hired him a long time ago, in 2019, when he and Mickey Callaway were the candidates. 2017, actually. Pat Murphy, done a great job with this Milwaukee Brewers team. And that's about it for Around the Bases this week, where I give you my MLB hot takes. Stay tuned and leave your thoughts in the comments. Now, I want to bring back an old segment, a look back. And we're going to take a look back at the summer of 2019 in the NBA free agency offseason when Kawhi Leonard had just won an NBA championship and was signing with the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, everybody in Toronto and Canada wanted him to stay, but it seemed like Kawhi couldn't wait to get out of there. Kawhi Leonard is headed back to Toronto now in 2026. But what would the NBA be like now if Kawhi stayed in 2019 and still remained a Toronto Raptor? I think the biggest thing of it all is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander would be a Los Angeles Clipper, or he wouldn't be the superstar he is today. He certainly would not be on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Here's why. Kawhi Leonard signed with the Clippers in 2019, and they said, we need a superstar to pair him with. So they traded for Paul George. The main piece of that Paul George trade was, of course, SGA, the back-to-back MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That doesn't happen, and I don't know if Shai develops into the superstar he is today if Kawhi Leonard stays in Toronto, or LA just has another superstar in SGA down the line. I think Nick Nurse stays in Toronto long-term. Nick Nurse kind of, got fizzled out of Toronto because you can't do much when Kyle Lowry is, your main piece going forward. Scotty Barnes, your main piece going forward. So Nick Nurse eventually left the Raptors, but I think in this Kawhi stays scenario, Nick Nurse is maybe the best coach in the NBA and stays with the Raptors. Not many teams from the East have won the championship since Kawhi left the Raptors in 2019, but the ones that have, like Giannis Antetokounmpo, does Giannis still win in 2021? He has to go through Toronto now, a team he couldn't beat in 2019. Does he beat them in 2021? I don't know. What about the Celtics? I don't think they get a championship. I don't think Jason Tatum gets past Kawhi Leonard. No. The same for Giannis Antetokounmpo, actually. Going back to that. What about the Brooklyn Nets? Do they stay together? Do KD, Kyrie, and Harden stay together? Because then that's just say, hey, we cannot risk trading James Harden. We cannot risk trading KD, and we cannot risk trading Kyrie because these three guys are our best chance to beat those Toronto Raptors. What does Kyle Lowry's legacy look like? Does he become an even better point guard, or does he regress? Are they in a weird situation right now where they're needing a new point guard because Kyle Lowry has just been so awful the past 3 seasons in the NBA? Not so awful, but so regressed because of his age. It'd be certainly a situation to look at. Kawhi Leonard stays in Toronto in 2019 is one of the biggest butterfly effects in NBA history, in my opinion. He's back now, a place he should have never left. He knows that. I think the NBA knows that, and I do think the NBA kind of made a under-the-table thing here to say, you got to move Kawhi because you're under-the-table money situation with the fake company that gave Kawhi Leonard the under-the-table money. This is de facto, NBA saying, you have to get rid of this guy. That's what I see. But Kawhi Leonard going to Toronto, you'll have to see it. That's about for a look back on what the NBA would look like now if Kawhi Leonard always stayed in Toronto. All right, so it's July 1st, and, I'm filming this episode, and I'm ready to go into question of the day right now. And Paul George and Jaylen Brown just got swapped for each other. An in-division trade where Jaylen Brown is headed to the Philadelphia 76ers, and Paul George is headed over to the Boston Celtics. I mean, this is mind-blowing, in my opinion. If it's 5 years ago, sure. If it's 3 years ago, sure. But now, with the way Paul George is, yes, the Boston Celtics will get 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks on top of this. But I think Jaylen Brown for Joel Embiid, that would have made more sense, in my opinion. For Paul George, it really shows that the market wasn't great for Jaylen Brown, and they wanted him out of there fast. It's in division. Surprised about this. That's my breaking news. Raw thoughts. Literally like 15 seconds after I saw this, I did this segment. Wow. Jaylen Brown will be in a Philadelphia 76ers uniform next year, and we will see Paul George on yet another team in Boston. Now, the best for last question of the day. This week's question of the day is, should the World Cup be like March Madness and have 64 teams, single elimination, no group stage? Leave your answer on that in the comments. That's about for question of the day this week. That's about for Schoolyard Sports with Lane Frank, episode 264. Thank you for tuning in. Follow Schoolyard Sports on Instagram at Schoolyard Sports. Follow Schoolyard Sports on X at Schoolyard Sport. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review for the best sports content in the world. We'll be back next week. Episode 265. Stay tuned.